Your mics are hot,
Let's
gentlemen.
roll.
All right. Call our meeting to order. Thanks for those of you who are present. Let's stand for pledge, please. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. Any public comments from anyone? I don't think we have any. New business. Lynn, I'm
All right.
gonna turn this over to you. You've mailed us the information and communicated with us, but make some comments to us, please.
I will do that. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you all working this meeting into your schedule. So a little background here. How we got to today was, if you'll recall, back in January, the board appointed a strategic plan committee. Mr. Lacey, Ms. Loudon, Mr. Bridget, and 3 staff members have been sitting on that committee. We've met 4 times since it was formed. And through those meetings, we developed and prioritized 4 focus areas is kind of what we're calling them. And the number 1 of those 4 was establishing a permanent home for the district. Something we've kicked around for a number of years and have attempted to do a couple of times, but we're revisiting that idea. So, and I do plan to share more with the board about the strategic plan committee's work at our meeting in a couple of weeks. But today's meeting is really to discuss the possibility of purchasing this property on Main Street here in Danville. Ms. Loudon identified the property, brought it to the strategic plan committee, and then she arranged for us to go visit it a few weeks back. And some of you were able to be there. Mr. Wicker was there, Ms. Loudon, Nancy Marsh, Dan Bridget. Am I missing one of the board members? Nope, I don't believe so. And then Amy and I were able to go as well. We walked the property, kind of got a sense of what was there. At that point, that group decided that it would be a good idea to get a letter of intent put together to submit to the sellers, just expressing our interest, non-binding document. Mr. Dawes signed that, and it was delivered June 30th. So, a little bit about the property itself. The address is 3360 East Main Street. It's on Old 36, a bit west of the new Faith Baptist Church, kind of right between Beasley's Orchard and Bartlett Chapel on the north side of the road. In the packet you got, there are some maps. I've got it up here, and we can use this if that's helpful, but there are 2 parcels that are for sale there. One where the home is sitting, and then one directly west. Same owners for both parcels. About my rough estimation, about 97% of the house sits on the one parcel, but it actually does encroach on the adjoining parcel. So the idea would be to purchase both of those. It's a large house, 7 bedroom, 7 bath, but in walking through the home and understanding what our ideas for the property would be, it would not make sense to keep the home. It would be demolished. So, and then the future plans would be eventually to build an office building there for us, permanent office that would also eventually allow us to do household hazardous waste collections of some fashion there on the property as well. So we need obviously offices, meeting room, storage for our education and program supplies, and then some sort of warehouse area that we could run the HHW collections through. again, just be for Hendricks County households. And then, you know, as we've kind of been brainstorming, possible space for some special collections here and there. You know, if we have a tire collection day or electronic collection day, space for that. Nothing that we would want to do ongoing. I don't think that's what we want to get into, but there's opportunities for those, you know, special collections as well. Our intention is not to do a traditional recycling center like we've built out at Liston for bottles and cans and cardboard. I think if that's something the board wants to pursue, we need to have a little bigger conversation. We could, there'd be some other questions we need to answer if we were going to go down that road. The location is excellent as far as its proximity to, you know, it's obviously geographically pretty central to the county, certainly more central to the population, and right there along Old 36, highly visible. It is Danville Water and West Central Conservancy District connections are nearby. Connecting to Danville Water would require an annexation into the town of Danville. I did have a conversation last week with town manager and town planner about that. In broad strokes, they like our idea, are supportive of it, and don't believe annexation and proper zoning would be too difficult. At initial blush, town planner thought light industrial zoning would probably fit what we needed. So that's what brings us here today. Essentially, next steps, if there's support, the board would need to adopt a resolution that formally expresses interest in the property, which is in your packet, and I have here. It's been reviewed by Mr. Sturwald, and then if that passes, then the next step would be arranging for a couple of appraisals of the property so we can determine what we are legally able to offer for it.
Do you have the seller's signature on that LOI, or has it been submitted to him?
Yes, we do have it now. Yes, it has been submitted
And executed?
And executed, yes. That was not in the packet, however.
Very good. Questions, comments?
Well, Mr. President, I think it's a good idea, but if I'm gonna support it, I want the tire electronic styrofoam thing to have a timeline of when we're gonna do that. The hazardous waste, are you gonna have a drive-through for these people to dump this off?
So there's lots of questions about how to best execute that. And frankly, I want to go visit some other districts to really see what they're doing. I have a sense of what they're doing, but to lay eyes on it. Hamilton County has had a very large, very busy household hazardous waste program for years. And it is a drive-up program, but she mentioned the other day, they had 300 people in one day. It was a very busy day last week come. Well, I don't think we have that kind of demand on a daily basis, but in my head, I have been thinking, well, let's do mini tox away days, 3 times a month or something like that. Talking to a director down in Johnson County they've just built a building, and she was like, you understand how expensive that's gonna be? Well, so, because in my mind it was have a contractor come in with their people and their equipment 3 times a month to do a smaller, and just the mobilization and bringing it in and hauling it off that same day. There's significant cost to that. A more traditional model like Hamilton County does, I think Shelby County, St. Joe, they have district staff that are trained to help and segregate what comes in, and then periodically have a contractor come in when they have truckloads and haul it off. But that requires particular storage. I'm sorry?
Resources.
Resources, yeah.
And I think a lot of that goes through, you work through the details of that as you're working through the planning and the site development. What's the site able to handle? And then financially, what's the burden? Right. Those decisions can't be made today other than there's a willingness.
Correct, yes. I think it is a reasonable next step that Hendricks County moves away from the Toxaway Day model. There's no other district with our population size that does 5 Toxaway Days. We're the only one that does any more than 2, I believe. It's a better way to serve our residents, and they, and to be clear, my thought is, when we make this move, at Toxaway Days now, we also take tires, electronics, and appliances. And it's helpful for us to do that. It's not necessary, because there are viable options for residents outside of Toxaway Days to get rid of those things.
Tires included?
Tires included.
Not at the same cost.
Not at the same cost, that's right. But Health Department now is doing some tire amnesty days. So having a couple of those special collections where we call them problem wastes. We can help residents occasionally with those things, but more consistently with the nasty stuff, the chemicals, bulbs, batteries, pesticides, herbicides, those kinds of things.
More damaging.
More damaging. And then, Electronics Recyclers International in Plainfield takes electronics all the time. And Caldwell Environmental, formerly New Genesis in Mooresville, will take appliances all the time. So there are some other viable options for those things. It's the chemicals, bulbs, batteries.
And you're gonna be limited by the potential site size.
Yep.
I mean, 100% you're
Yep.
limited.
So
I think step one is, do we wanna secure the site?
that's right.
And you're not developing this tomorrow. I would hope you're not gonna fast track that.
I would hope as well. Yes.
Maybe you demolish the structure because you don't want to upkeep and maintain it, stabilize the site as you thoughtfully work through a plan.
That is hopefully what, yes, the next move. Get the property and then we figure out what.
And then the viability, financially and the longevity of the district. And I'm in general agreement of acquiring the site. And, I was lukewarm. I saw it. I see it. The location is pretty good. You will be limited by the requirements of Danville and what you're able to physically build on that. You'll probably be a little disappointed after you're done. But that's just the reality of, what we live with. But, I'm in agreement to acquire the property.
Yeah, I had a couple of comments, and I've been closer to the discussion. Number one, I agree with acquiring the property or a property to provide some stabilization for the district and, increasing our ability to provide for the district. Couple questions. Is it enough land to do for the vision, right? It's 1.62 acres. Are we going to get the value? And I look at value. If I'm a seller, there's a building on it, I'm expecting more value transactionally, where we just want the land. And so I think we need to, ask ourselves, and we talked about an offer price, and, is it enough land? And some earlier dialogue, what about the house in between these two lots and the gas station? Would that provide better layout, more opportunity for us 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road? And then I agree with Bob. I think while I don't want something, a concrete plan for the waste, I would like to have something, maybe your vision on paper, timeline, 5 years, 3 years, whatever it is, and what are those steps to get there? And to your point, benchmarking from other counties and what they're doing, I think that's a viable source to formulate that plan. So I think you're on the right path there. I'm kind of hung up on the value a little bit. I like the location, the buildings needs to be bulldozed, but are we really getting the value? If we found 2 acres somewhere
Absolutely,
else.
we're not. But there's not 2 acres somewhere else.
And that's my next question. I'm
Yeah.
looking at Dawn. I'm
we're
not familiar with the
overpaying for it.
Danville market, so I think we're gonna pay a premium up front, which is fine. It's all about control and leverage, right, to Brad's point. So just some of my comments, I'm all over, I'm supportive of it, so.
Yeah, because we're gonna spend another 20 or 30 to
Tear it down.
demolish the
Yeah,
structure.
right.
So whatever we spend, add 10% to it before we're, have real estate. And then we're gonna go through a zoning
Viable.
process.
Well, the remonstrators.
There's not other, I mean,
Yeah, don't
I play in that space a little bit. I watch the market. It's tight as a drum.
Out there for that.
I was looking at the
And I
map.
think you buy it and then you have a friendly conversation with the guy to the east and plant a seed. Because
Yeah.
unless it's for sale, you know.
Everything's for sale for the right dollar amount.
But the gas station had made a offer that somebody shared the number with me and I went, they probably should have taken that. But at the same time, I mean, unfortunately, we're, you know, non-for-profit, but if you control that piece and you develop that piece, that gentleman's property value goes down. Not up, because he's limited
Right.
geographically. So if he's looking for maximum value, it will be now, not 3 or 5 years from now. And then another ingress egress off of Old 36 is not likely,
This is a new gas station.
so.
Curb cuts.
This is, these are some comments that I'll make.
To try to help them.
Appreciate the work that all of you have done. I think it's good, and I'm supportive of this. Where that gas station is going used to be a barber shop and an Indian, Native American shop that sold artifacts and stuff like that. There were 2 Native American boys, men, who were the adopted sons of the barber in that building, and they live in that house right next. So I'm assuming they are the ones, because the gentleman who's the barber, Richard, I can't think of his last name, the 2 Native American boys probably sold that to the gas station folks and got a pretty good number, I would imagine. And so they are now thinking to themselves, because the house they live in, where their dad and mom lived for years, is
Not very habitable.
probably as junky as the 7-bedroom house that we're looking at buying. But anyway, that's some history that is there. I'm assuming those 2 men still live there, would be my guess.
Old church.
And they're probably at least in their 40s, if not older. So anyway, just FYI information, but I think it's a good thought. Buy the property and begin discussions with those people, because I think the better plan is to eventually own both properties. So that it goes gas station, and then what would it be, well over 3 acres then, that I assume we would own.
Which you need.
You'll need.
You'll need that.
At 5, year 5 and 10 out, you're gonna need that. I'm just thinking out.
Like tires and everything.
No, you're absolutely
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
1.6 or whatever it is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
adequate, but we're not looking at, we're not trying to evaluate 3 or 5 different parcels.
Yeah, yeah,
We're evaluating one.
that's true.
I think to Ben's comment, the thing that protects us financially is that we cannot pay more than the 2 bids.
Appraisals, yeah.
So
yeah,
it doesn't
I get
matter
that.
really what they're asking, it comes down to, do they want to sell? And they do understand that we're a municipality and not-for-profit, so their agent at least, and I have discussed that, and it's then her job to,
But they'll still have the opportunity to deny it once we
they
have that
would.
number.
Sure.
They would.
I think they'll sell it for whatever will.
They know the
Just know
home isn't
what the thing,
habitable.
It's a clunker.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know that.
There's not 3 other buyers knocking on their door.
No.
Oh, there are.
I think, just thinking down the line, Bob and Dawn, you mentioned it, potential remonstration activities and who are potential folks in that area that would have issue with this. And as I'm thinking down the line a little bit and our plan that we would present to the county for zoning and use.
Town.
Or, I'm sorry, town, for county or for town for use. Would there be a traffic study required for
The
something?
gas station, 2 doors down.
Yeah, you know, and that's kind of where I'm throwing planting that seed because
Yeah.
it could lead to that, and those are expensive. Those, I mean, if that was required, so I'm just making you guys aware.
I wouldn't think it is with that size parcel.
Yeah,
But, you know,
It
there's a
just
gas
depends on the
station, and
use.
your ingress egress is concerning. I mean, I had to back out of there.
Right.
And I mean, I'm a good driver, but it took me a hot minute because I had to back up against traffic and go the other way.
Oh,
Well, and certainly how we decide to lay it out.
lay it out,
right,
absolutely,
is-
will impact
would
that
be-
a lot.
Your engineers and architects and your influence, and that's, 12, 18, 24 months down the road.
Right.
There's no reason to
Oh,
get
yeah.
excited about fast tracking this for any reason.
No, I agree. Yeah, slow roll this
No,
one.
no reason.
Yeah,
and in today's society, there will be remonstrators.
yeah.
There will be.
Okay.
But along Old 36, the people that are still living there as residential, they're going to expect as development comes in, that there is going to be more commercial type use there. So I think anybody that lives on a county
You would hope.
highway
My
knows
experience
that
says no.
at some point in the future, that's what's gonna happen, but.
And so the parcel to the north,
I'd look
Owned
at
by the
that too.
church.
Or,
The parcel to the north.
Owned by the church.
I mean,
Oh.
interested to have a
They'd be a good
conversation
neighbor.
with that, and or if they might want to minor plot some of that off later on in the future to go north there. That would be an option.
so that is owned by the church?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't want to mow and maintain that for the rest of their lives. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's
Yeah.
and right. So I think there may be some interest there.
I believe the church also owns that plot as well, for whatever it's worth.
Which plot?
Faith Baptist.
This one?
Faith Baptist.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
We'd
And-
like that too.
Our discussion of tires and those kinds of collection, I want to be sure that,
So they can't.
I want to be sure that I'm clear. Those would be like single day events.
Right.
Yeah, so we're not talking about piles of tires.
If you had a huge pile of tires.
Well, you'd have a
you
trailer
way to-
come,
Yes,
you would just put them on a trailer
You have a
to
way
pick
to
up the
move
next
them out,
day.
yeah.
right,
That's just operational.
yes.
And just on another note, and it doesn't bother me at all, but you probably want to have a conflict of interest document if you're managing the transaction or if you're,
Yeah, so I'm not gonna be compensated, I'm just the go-between
I would
person.
make that
Okay.
publicly
You'll have to
known.
recuse yourself from the
Yes.
vote then too.
And
I would.
I don't have any problem with you getting compensated because it's you or somebody else, but I get it. You just be transparent about it
Yeah.
because somebody's going to call you out.
Oh, yeah, always.
Will she also have to recuse herself on the vote whether to do this or not?
No, if she's not got a financial interest in it,
She doesn't have to recuse herself.
you might just make that publicly known. I don't care, but somebody's going to.
Well, we have another meeting
Yeah.
at 8, so the chair would entertain I assume we need a motion to adopt this resolution 2504, expressing interest in purchasing real property.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I want to be there at the meeting because those are fun.
Oh, yeah,
They
okay.
are fun.
Question, Lynn, that I should have asked you
Yes.
earlier.
Okay, thank you.
In discussions with Dan, Bridget, and Nancy,
Yes.
did they express any comments on yay or nay, or?
Yes, they were both supportive of.
Dan seemed favorable. I
Yeah.
spent some time with
Yeah.
him when I was on site,
All
so.
right,
I think with similar reservations to
Yeah, I
what
mean, we're
have
all
been
a little
expressed, but
hesitant, but at this point, we haven't expended resources, human resources, not financial resources.
correct.
all right,
Do I also have the board's approval to go ahead and get those appraisals?
yes.
Okay, then
Actual next step.
Yeah.
natural next step. Very good. Well, again, I appreciate y'all being here this morning.
With that, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah.
Right over there.
Thank you.
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we ask that your healing hands continue to be on Nate Schaefer and bring him back to full health. And we ask that your guidance upon our nation as we are moving forward, and let it be in your manner, Lord, not ours. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. If you haven't signed in up front, please do so. First item on the agenda, minutes of June 22nd.
Approve as submitted.
Second. Moved and seconded. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are none opposed. Sealed quotes, Gary.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Although we did send out notices to all of the contractors on our list, only one contractor submitted a quote for the Wood Creek Crossing project. That quote is in the amount of $39,475.
Who's that quote
from?
Moraine Excavating, I'm sorry.
I have a question. What timeline do we follow? Like, when do we send these out prior to?
So we usually send the email out a couple weeks in advance, and then we did the walkthrough on this last Tuesday, I want to say.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look at the email. to be
Okay.
honest.
Okay, so we routinely allow a couple of weeks before people have to submit their bid?
Not from the date of the walkthrough.
Right.
The date
But
of
I
the
mean, from the
walkthrough is usually
time,
the week
the time they
before.
know there's a project to be done.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
they know a couple
Okay.
weeks ahead of time a project's
Let's make sure we
coming.
do that, yeah.
What was the scope of the Wood Creek project?
Resetting end sections, taking some trees down around 4 different ponds. You want to see the quote after I'm done with it? There's a whole lot in there. It was a pretty long scope of work. It's a lot of work.
Well, we'll come back to that then. Next item on the agenda is the review fees of $13,611.25. Christopher Burke.
Second.
Moving second, those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, motion carries. Next is drain maintenance expenses of a total of $2,030.
Move approval.
Second.
Moving second, those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, motion carries. Acceptance of the auditor's report.
So moved.
Second.
Moving seconded, those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
There are none opposed, motion carries. Town Projects Brownsburg Benchmark Consulting, ask for continuance. Chair will entertain a motion for continuance.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved and seconded for continuance. Are they aware of the continuance process? Okay. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and none opposed. Next, county projects, DPR 529. Modern DES Engineering, ask for continuance. Chair will entertain a motion for continuance.
So moved.
I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded. Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, there are none opposed, motion carries. Next is Dale Cruz, MIP 1192.
Good morning, Dale Cruz, Cruz Consulting, 7384 Business Center Drive in Avon. And I'm here this morning on behalf of the Marsh family. So the Marsh family owns, where are we at on here, David? Yeah, sorry, it's right, these two parcels right here. A few months ago, we were here for the same property. Their idea is to divide this into 3. And when we were here last, there was one lot, there's a creek ravine right here. It was one lot up here, one lot back here, one lot back here. And since we went through that, got that all approved, this neighbor right here expressed interest in some of this land right here, which changed the layout of the plan here. So the drive is now proposed to come in along this eastern property line down to a cul-de-sac that's down here just before the creek. And then the 3 lots, still 3 lots, but the 3 lots are all 3 on the south side of this little creek right here. So what was 3, 1, 2, 3 is still 3, but now it's 3 lots that are lined up down here. The idea is for this family to build 3 houses here. The mom and dad and 2 kids are gonna build three homes on these 3 lots. And then this acreage right here will be sold to this neighbor here. So it's a revision to a plan that we got approved a few months ago. That's it.
Well, as you can see, the offices are recommending final approval, and there is no regulated drain. Chair will entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Further discussion? Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And none opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Next, Mr. Steerball.
I don't have anything.
Dave. Oh, Tiffany, you want to come forward? Yeah.
I recommend the only quote that we received in the amount of $39,475 even.
Chair will entertain a motion.
Move to approve the only quote.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion? Those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, they're not opposed, motion carries. Is there anyone in the audience who has something to bring before the Drainage Board? Introduction of business or discussion by board members. Me, for one, we've got to come up with a timeline on this John Green, when we're going to do that. Because everybody's in line, the plan is there, it's time to stop talking and do it.
Well, the Drainage Board's already approved the work because it was part of the ARPA plan. And then we had the bots drain discussion, the open meeting, and that's when the Drainage Board decided to hold off. So the only thing we're really waiting on, you've already approved it. We've already notified all the property owners, and they were all in favor of it.
Right.
They were really in favor of it. So we're just probably more than anything waiting for the crops to get out to do the work.
Is that much crop in the way?
Yeah, it goes across the north side where Bernhardt's barn is, clear to the ditch.
Okay, all right.
So that's the only
Okay.
thing we'd be waiting
Bernhardt's
on.
Farm on the east side, or the west side of the road there.
West side of 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So beyond that, we're ready to go.
Okay, good.
But I would just recommend, I think it's good policy to wait till the crops are out
Okay.
to do the work.
All right.
But all the people are
Yeah.
positive, they want it.
Good.
So I don't even think we need to probably have, I mean, we can have another informational meeting. We've already had the meeting.
Jack has said, and Blake has spoken to everyone, and Jack has told me that everybody's in favor of it, so
Yeah,
the next words we need to hear is when we're gonna bid the thing.
yeah.
I talked to John Ayers too, because there's a ridge that goes through there. And where that ridge is, he said they could put a structure and, because they already did south of there and took and
Right.
regraded all those driveways to get that water down to County Road 1000 North. And that's the drain that goes underneath 1000 North. It's a side ditch road that goes underneath the highway. So
Yes.
where that ridge is, those driveways need to be regraded and get that surface water down to that and put an inlet there at the John Green so that could get out of that area.
So this was the one back in the day where John was going to regrade the roadside ditch along Wings Meadows. And Marathon Pipeline was right in the way. And Marathon wouldn't lower their pipe, well, they would, but it was gonna cost the county $100,000 at that time. And so John stopped. He might have regraded south of Marathon?
It was a tree.
Did he?
Right.
Okay. And so, we could talk to John about, you're saying regrade it to the north, to the John Green?
Yeah, because it won't go
It
south.
can't go south unless we move Marathon. And then it goes to a pipe that's under 1,000, Russ Lawson did that back in the day. It's under the pavement. So I think when they improve 1,000 north, I talked to John about moving that pipe out from underneath the road. Those are discussions we've had, and I'm still hopeful we can do that. Because right now, it's really Highway Department's problem child.
So thanks for everybody's work on this.
Yes, thank
It's been
you.
a long haul, and
Yeah.
Sounds like you're ready to go.
Yeah.
My other issue that I want to bring up is, do we have any, because I've talked to everyone on the Ross ditch about mowing except the two people who have been recalcitrant in the past, and I will talk to them. May have to take a
I'm
sheriff's
afraid
deputy
for
with
you.
me on one of them because he can get violent. But do we have letters of consent from everybody? I mean, the cemetery, the school, the town, Bears Landscaping, they have not sent theirs in yet. Well, he confirmed with me verbally it was okay. So I'll have to make sure then they send something
He
in.
did or she did?
He did. He did. And I told him, I said, you talk it over with your wife. And he got back with me the next day and said, we'll be fine. I'll get them to send a letter in. But the other two, you give me their telephone numbers and I'll call
I don't know that
Do we
we
have
have.
their telephone
Yeah,
them.
I
You don't
know
have those? I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
You might take a deputy with you to the.
Yeah, on the one on the north side. Yep.
Especially on the west side of the ditch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, show of force. Okay, anyone else on the board have something to bring before the drainage board? If not, then Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
second.
It means adjourn. Thank you, everybody.
Brad in there.
I need your autograph, please.
What letterhead you have? I don't know. But we signed it and Brad's name's down here.
Gary?
So,
Yeah.
anyway.
I don't know why it's that way. I'm sorry, all the rest of it's been changed.
Yeah, okay. You just picked up an old letterhead somewhere.
Yeah. We'll get that changed.
Here you go.
Sorry, Brad.
Not offended in the slightest.
Denny? Have we written?
Yeah.
Bring you with me?
It was.
It's supposed to be there, that's all right.
Can the-
This was this up here, because this is the original
You'll need to unlock your
marsh.
first.
Yeah, that was-
Where are we meeting at?
I hate that. I did that
pledge to the flag and a prayer, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we pause and thank you for your grace that you extend to us. Thank you for each person in this room and in our county. Lord, part of your creation in this country is groaning right now because of what occurred in Texas with the floods, and we pray for those people. Pray for the families that have lost loved ones, especially little children. Lord, pray that you will guide us, give us wisdom as we make decisions. We thank you in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Our meetings, just for everyone's information, but this month starts when our meetings are to be televised and available that way, and we are doing that and have been doing that, but we are meeting the law, and just wanted everyone to be aware of that. All right. Approval of the minutes of our June 24th Commissioners' meeting.
Move for approval.
Abstain.
Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you, Brad. My paper. Approval of the claims.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Okay, we have an appointment, or no, we're not there yet. We have a public hearing that we need to hold. Krista, and this is for the Hendricks County Food Ordinance. We considered this, or you brought it to us at our last meeting, I believe.
Maybe two,
Pardon, two?
maybe two,
Two
I think we
ago.
had to be advertised twice.
Okay, but this is a public hearing to amend the Hendricks County Food Ordinance. So I will open the public hearing. And since nobody's sitting out there, as I'm looking at you, you have no idea of what's in that ordinance or anything, I would guess. And so if there's anybody that has a comment you'd like to make, please do so. I will close the public hearing. So we will now consider acting on this, Commissioners. Krista, do you want to say anything to us?
I don't have anything new. Just as a reminder, this ordinance, most of the updates are due to changes in state rule affecting retail food establishments. We did have some changes in there about when applications were considered late for our temporaries and mobiles. So we had that discussion. But most of the changes, like I said, are due to those state changes.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve this ordinance 2025.
13.
So moved.
It's been moved,
Second.
been seconded. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thanks, Krista.
Thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Our next item is another public hearing for the Nonnelly Family Trust vacation of a public right-of-way. And so I will open that public hearing on that. Does anyone in the public have any comments for us on that? Close the public hearing. Commissioners?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Mr. Comer, thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Next item on our agenda is we have an appointment of an individual that's currently serving to be reappointed to the Peterborough Board. And Mr. Stan Albaugh is a member of that board that the commissioners appoint, and we either need to reappoint him, he would like to serve again, or appoint somebody else. It's been recommended that by the assessor's office that we reappoint Stan Albaugh. Yes, I would entertain a motion for that, that's it. And so
And is
did I.
it- Did you close the public hearing portion of it? It says public hearing on that.
I'm-
I'm sorry, I'm.
You're on the wrong
I
item.
am, I gotta go
Yeah.
down. All right. I would move for reapproval of Stan Albaugh.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you. I think I was okay on
You were,
our stuff.
I was
so
holding my
That's okay.
straight line one too high.
You're still on an island somewhere. All right.
I am.
Dan Chubb. Dan, you are here, I see you. You have placed before us a memorandum of understanding with the Morgan County Coroner's Office.
Correct.
You want to make any comments on this?
We are starting to see that we're going down there to assist them more. Their run volume is picking up, and they only have like 4 staff. So we wanted to set up a means of being able to be compensated for us going down in our time and stuff. And I talked to Mike Ellis down there, and he's in total agreement with it. He's taken it before their commissioners down there.
Okay.
So
Has-
President,
has-
will they,
Go ahead.
will they be using our board?
no, they have their own place. The way it's set up now, if we go down there on the case, we will transport back to their facility. We have access to their facility. We streamlined all of our paperwork the same for both offices. And so we just basically will go to the scene, do the investigation, take them back to their facility and drop them off there.
All right, I'll move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Dan, I guess, kind of keep track of how often and all of that, and if it reaches a point where it's really a burden on your staff and.
We've only
so
done
on.
3 this year so far,
Okay.
so it's not bad. A lot of times what we'll see is if the actual coroner goes on vacation, because him and his wife are on the department, will pick up some of the slack. And then they've also got the coroner from the south coming up on the southern side to kind of.
Very good. Good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
Yep. And Dan, thanks for all you do. We appreciate it. Hope your offices are working out fine.
The move-in was perfect timing with the way our rent load's going.
Okay, good. Thanks. Mr. Morris, information technology, a security automated system proposal.
Yeah, so this is a proposal to upgrade our current door access system. Been working with Jack and Facilities on this for a while. Jack has the funding for the system. The majority of it will be paid out of his budget, and then the portion of the jail can be paid out of the jail bond. But basically, this is going to upgrade all of our door access control systems in all of our buildings to a more modern system, and it's also going to put us in line with the new system going to the highway department as well, the new highway build.
Okay.
The existing system does the job, but it's antiquated. We've had it for, I think we first installed it in the courthouse about 15 years ago, and we've been kind of working with it since, and it addressed a couple of security issues we have, as well as upgraded to a modern system.
Jack, any comments you want to make? No?
I really like working with Doug and his group, and I feel it's something that's needed. We've looked into this for a while.
Yeah,
I'm very fortunate to have the funding to be able to move forward
exactly.
and be very happy when it's done. It's not going to be something that'll happen overnight. So it's got a long way to go.
It's with a current vendor. I had Greg review it. We've been working with SAS for many, many years. They've worked with the old jail, the new jail, as well as some of our other systems as well. Matter of fact, SAS has been the one that kind of has done some of these systems in the past. They've just subcontracted the current vendor now, so.
Very good.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other questions or comments? One,
Sure.
the amount of the contract on our cover page,
Total of all of them, I think.
So it's adding every one of the.
Yes, correct. So it's,
Okay, I'm
they,
with you.
they broke that out by building in case we want to do something different, as well as it afford us the opportunity to separate the jail out.
All right. It's not a small number.
It isn't, unfortunately
Well, I was
not.
intentionally missing a comma, so it was a little hard to
I-
decipher.
yeah.
I had to put it in.
I did
Oh.
All right.
Sorry about that, yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Thank you.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Ayers is at a meeting, so we have Mr. Kim with us today. Mr. Galloway.
I have the contract for the curve correction project at 700 South and 525 East. I believe you've already approved it, so I just need to get you guys to sign where I have
Okay.
it
All
tabbed.
we're doing is signing then.
I believe so, yes.
E&B paving, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we don't need to vote on this,
We
right?
we don't need to vote on this, I guess.
You already approved that.
We already approved it.
That's what I've been told.
Okay. Let us, we will sign that. That's another small number as well. Glad you folks out there, I'm not reading the numbers.
You don't wanna know.
You don't want to know, yeah. It's not gonna raise your taxes, it's not to that level, but. All right, go ahead.
Let me correct myself. His note's a little vague, I guess.
Yeah.
It said we've received them. We're going to recommend, so we recommend E&B paving. It wouldn't hurt to vote on it
Okay.
again, if you don't mind.
Move for approval of E&B paving.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Okay. Kim, go ahead with the right-of-way settlement for Bridge 28.
Yeah, this is up just north of Brownsburg. You guys, you have this contract to sign.
So we did get this done.
Yes.
Well, good for us.
That contract is, we have a copy of it in our packet. We can sign one of those, I assume.
Yeah, that's what agreed finding
Is that
judgment.
fine? Okay. Chair would entertain a motion to.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
very good. And Greg, to your office, we thank you as well. Appreciate that.
Only requires your signature, I think.
Yes, yeah. Put that there, I'll sign it later. Comments from the floor. Anyone in our meeting? Comments? Please state your name and address.
Of course. Good morning, Anthony Gary, 5794 Courtyard Crescent in Lincoln Township. I want to thank you guys for putting these videos onto YouTube early before the law passed. I've probably been your biggest fan of those. And I would like to make a suggestion for the folks that are watching them and cannot be here at 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning in person. Occasionally, you folks will have questions and someone in the room, in the audience, will have the answer. And there ends up being a question asked and the person in the back of the room will give the answer. That can't be picked up and it can't be heard when you're watching the video live. If you wouldn't mind to have that person come to the front, state their name, who they are, have them answer their question and leave. It takes maybe a couple of seconds, but the continuity for the meetings that I can't attend personally is incredibly better when you can understand how you're getting to that point. So I just ask that. Thank you very much.
That's a great suggestion.
Anthony, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
And then many, Mr. President, many of these cases, the question needs to be restated
Yeah.
publicly.
Yeah, they can't come up to the front, yeah. I've noticed a lot of people, like he said, tend to stand off to the side and do that, so. Jay Thompson, 7722 Quail Creek Trace. I'm sure Milo's probably got my address memorized by now for as much as I come in here. Last week when I was thanking people, I left off Terry Benton and Kurt at the Highway Department. You probably know they had a bunch of high visibility vests that were donated to the department they couldn't use. So I went down and picked some up. I use those in my training class. I teach radio frequency interference hunting, and one of the things we use an antenna that has a rod about the length of that mic stand. And if I've been standing out in the street sweeping around trying to find interference, and people drive by and say, "He's got a gun," or somebody called my buddy and said they had an axe. But you put a high visibility vest on and you disappear to 90% of the people out there. You just fade in the background. They don't see you anymore. It's pretty amazing. So, yeah, I know. The second thing is this is left over from my time on the Communications Advisory Board. I know a number of members of the council and I have talked about this, but we were always kind of concerned about the cost of just letting Plainfield run this operation for us. Have you ever considered, I know when it first happened, it hit you guys hard and you had to find a fast solution, so you formed this deal, but have you ever thought about bringing those people in-house under the county auspices, so to speak? I've been around and talked to the people in the departments. This is just on salaries, and I'm kind of concerned as the amount of money that's being written off towards what basically, and we had a governing board at one time that became the advisory board, and I don't think they were being compensated. It was about $20,000 or so for the council. I did some research. I went from January of 23, I think, to mid-2024 last year, and I could find about 7 or 8 meetings where they actually discussed items about HCOM. So I kind of thought those salary, the amount of money we're paying seemed a little bit high. I have to say, I got with the State Board of Accounts, I said, can they write off this much salary? They were comfortable with it, so I took that idea back to Pittsburgh, and we started writing off town council salaries, assigning 10 or 15% to the different utilities we have. So I was able to lower our draw from the general fund. So in a way, it helped us out in Pittsburgh. But also another thing that vehicle cost. I want to say last year we had a very detailed presentation during the budget hearing, and it was $90,000, I think, for vehicles. So I was wondering if they, Todd's done magic with our vehicle. We don't have a cost now. A vehicle's basic for a pickup truck. So there could be a big savings there. When I first got on, there was only one vehicle for the director. Then they came to us and said, well, Doug Burris needs one because he has to go out and pick up people in the wintertime, get him a full-size SUV. We haven't had that many snows anymore, and other counties send police officers out or maybe highway workers to go get those people so they can bring them in and work. A backup 911 center. Right now, we have a couple spots down at the airport. The major one is way down in Perry Township. And I think Jared mentioned the phone system discrepancy, so that's going to be a problem. If we build our own 911 center, more centrally located here in town, we might get more people coming to work, wanting to hire on. The big thing is, even if we just took it in-house and we saved maybe even half this, if you're willing to spend the money, give it to the people under the headsets doing the job, because some of the stuff they do, it's a pretty stressful job. So.
Thank you.
Point well taken.
Yeah. Okay, elected officials, or another comment from public.
One more public comment.
Yes,
Steve
sir. State your
Brehop,
name and
Banning
address.
Engineering,
Okay.
853 Columbia Road. We were here before you on June 10th, I believe, with a proposal for a memorandum of understanding between David Weekly Homes and the county commissioners regarding roadway improvements associated with a subdivision project to County Road 800. Just wanted to come here today and kind of check on the status of that. As I recall, at that meeting, the direction was for John Ayers and our client and Greg Sturwald to review the agreement and see if any changes, modifications needed to be made. We've got an obligation to the property owner, the Connection Point Church, to keep them up to date. So really just wanted to come today and make sure that was still in process, and see if there were any questions that we could answer today.
I can give an update.
Sure,
Yeah.
thank you.
John and I have been working from our perspective on the terms that we want in the agreement. And John and I we exchanged some emails yesterday. I sent John what I hope is a final draft based upon our discussions. Once I get John the agreement, which I think is forthcoming, then I can share it with everybody and I can share it with Jeff.
Okay, thank you.
But it's, as soon as everything's checked off, I think we're done.
Question, Mr. President?
Sure.
Steve, is this out there diagonally across from RMC, or Hendricks Power?
No, this is for a project up north of Brownsburg off of County Road 800.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Up by Connection Point Church.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Does that help?
Yes,
Yeah.
appreciate it very much.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Steve.
government is slow
Slow.
sometimes, so hang in there with us. We'll get there.
Appreciate it.
Greg, thank you for bailing us out on that. Elected officials, any elected officials want to make any comments? Appreciate two of our state elected officials being in the room today. Thank you. We have one that's with us all the time, but not always do we have a state senator with us as well. So thanks for being here. Staff reports. Kim, do you want to make any further comments for John?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You have his memo. I think most everything's self-explanatory. I do need to touch on two.
Okay.
Is we have the contract for HWC to do the study in 56th Street for the pedestrian crossing, which I need you to, this one, I'm pretty sure you have already approved. We just need the contract.
Okay.
So if
Do we need to approve the contract then as well?
Execute it.
We need to sign it, I think.
Yeah, the
Is
contract's been approved,
Is it
from what Don said.
all three of us or just me?
It's three.
All three, okay. Fine,
So we don't need to vote before we sign this?
we'll sign it.
No, that part's been.
Yeah.
Second thing is on the culvert inventory that we asked for RFQs a couple weeks ago for. And we had a short list. We interviewed 3 companies. And we'd like your permission to proceed with Clark Dietz as our first choice.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Clark Dietz. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay.
And did you guys notice that we lost 200 culverts basically?
Yes.
216 due to we've had calls from towns not knowing that yet, so.
Okay.
So that'll help save some money.
Yes, it would, it hopefully will, yes.
Well, they won't be prepared to do that.
Well, we still do the bridges.
Yeah.
It's just the culverts, and
Yeah.
I think in most cases, they end up doing a lot of the culverts anyway,
Is that right?
because our criteria for a culvert being replaced out in the middle of the country is a little different than theirs in town, where they want something different or nicer than we usually do in the country. So, I believe that's all I have.
Okay. Any
you.
questions for Kim, from any of us? Okay, thanks, Kim.
Uh-huh.
Todd?
None of my items require any action by you, but I'll be happy to discuss or answer any questions if you have.
Just thanks to you and Jack on the air conditioning in the courthouse and all that happened there. Appreciate everything, so, yeah. It's not always easy, but, yeah, right. Okay. Doug?
During my report, the agenda item, we'll make a couple of comments regarding the sound. We do have mics that amplify this back, but we tend to leave them off because they unfortunately pick up a lot of chatter and some of the outside information. So yeah, it probably would be best to have people step forward. That's the way they're going to get the best audio picked up. And also we have the ability to put in actual desk mics up here. We've kind of talked about that because we've had a lot of, these do a pretty good job picking up, but they do struggle sometimes with softer speaking people, or if you're not kind of right on them, they reinforce out to about this first row. But I know the comments in the past where we didn't want the mics in front of us, but we do have some that we have over there that we can test out if you'd like.
I think we're doing pretty good the way we are.
Okay, all right.
So why don't we leave it like it is, and
Sounds good.
if we get.
And this mic here will pick up as well
Yeah.
at some of the speakers as well,
Okay.
so.
Very good.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Mr. Swally?
Yes, sir. You have my staff report in front of you. If you get any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. I know it's pretty short.
So they found the missing gas line, is that right?
Yeah, yeah. No, we know where the gas line's at. We got a meeting afterwards. We're following up on that. I believe they're filling in the blanks the best they can. We're just really waiting on a reply back to get a good direction. Otherwise, we are putting on the roof here real soon. They're doing the gutter replacement currently. And then the roof will be coming, I think, the 14th or 15th, something like that.
Okay.
That'll be nice to have that done. A little bit of noise associated with the gutter repair or replacement, but not too bad.
Okay. There won't be any noise with the roof?
Not for anybody below the third floor or the second floor. It shouldn't be as bad. We're not nailing it, it'll be screwed and it's metal, so it's not tearing off roofing and all that would be associated, so.
Very good. Questions for Jack from anybody? Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. You bet. County Attorney, Mr. Sturbold.
Yeah, I just talked to, or text John Ayers. He's fine with that amended agreement
Okay.
that the paragraphs he and I discussed. So I'll share that with you and also share it with Banning.
Okay.
Is it okay with you if everybody approves? Can you grant authority for someone to sign instead of waiting 2 more weeks?
Okay.
Absolutely. I think the president's
Sure.
more than capable of signing that.
I can do that.
Writing down.
Do we need to have a motion on that?
That was in the form of a motion.
That was a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Question, what are we doing here exactly? Aren't we, wasn't the question whether we were doing
They're
something?
saying they don't have to put in a passing blister, but they're gonna pay you for the installation when the county decides to do it.
Okay. Okay, I'm okay with that.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 It's very unique because the project's in the town of Brownsburg. But the driveway permit will be from the county.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Anything else? Greg?
No, thank you.
Okay. Anything from the commissioners?
No, sir.
No.
A couple of comments that I would make. Hendricks County Fair begins July the 13th. So I would encourage everybody to go out to the fair and enjoy yourselves there, take your families. Hendricks County Fair is always a great fair to attend. Appreciate the work that everybody out there does. Also, Bill Staley, who's our VA person, is holding a public forum tomorrow, so I would make a comment about that for Bill. I didn't write down where it's being held. I think it's at a Panera Bread store somewhere. Anyway, all of you vets that maybe are listening, if you need to ask him a question, go tomorrow to that meeting. I think it's a lunch type meeting, so, but I didn't write the address down. I apologize. I think that's it.
One more thing, Mr. President.
Yes.
The fair, there's a new traffic pattern. It'd be much easier to get in. You won't have to be sitting on the road out there by the church. You're gonna be able to get in off the road and then pay to get in. It's gonna be much easier to handle.
Okay, very good. Anything else from anybody? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Comment in here.
I'm sorry.
That was covered.
Oh, I think 20 foot.
Good.
municipal employee that's done that. I've taken, I'll bargain with you on this, and like,
Oh, yeah.
I've had people come on and tell me, so-and-so told me this, he said, they have no authority to tell you that.
Okay, I am gonna call the regularly scheduled Hendricks County Regional Sewer Board meeting to order. We certainly have a quorum. If you'd all join us with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes from June 10th.
Move for approval.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor of the approval of the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aqua Indiana report.
Morning. Let's keep things moving. I really have not a whole lot going on, so nothing to add to my written report unless you guys have any questions.
Any questions for Aqua?
No, sir.
No questions. We're gonna move right along to American Structure Point.
Yeah, Karen's on her way, but she might be a little bit behind. I talked to her on my way out here. She just wanted to
Tell her to
mention.
turn around then. By the time she gets here, we're gonna be
We're going to
done.
lunch anyways. We'll feed her, so she just wanted to mention that the invoices were a little bit higher for us this month due to higher activity on the construction inspection part. And then the other thing she wanted to mention was probably something you're gonna mention about the public meeting for a new subdivision.
We're doing we did Lakeland and Gulfview, and we're doing Shiloh, which is kind of across, or
Shoals Creek.
Oh, Shoals Creek, sorry. It's kind of catty corner from the fire station up there.
Yeah, it's due west of Branches.
Yeah, so
Near
that's
Sinai,
gonna be the
1000.
next one, and those have been on the environmental health target list for a long time. So they're happy. Hopefully, as we get them all done, people will be happy. We'll have lines there so the future, people can continue to connect, so.
Anything else to add? Exit 59, I-70. I guess I should look this way almost as much as I should. I mean, there's no update.
There's nothing new.
Hurry up and wait.
Mike Dellinger with Morgan County Economic Development. I spoke to him the other day, and he said that the Indiana Economic Development approved tax, whatever they had requested from the state for that project, tax abatements or something like that. So I asked Mike, I said, so has anybody talked to Governor Braun yet?
Turning that upside down.
Because everybody, it's all through the process, and it all hinges on whether we're able to build a plant or not. So yeah, we haven't heard anything from the IURC.
All right. Financial statement status.
Still doing well.
We have some money.
We have dollars in the bank.
Yeah, that's good.
Bob's over there signing checks, so. All 5 of them, or are you down? Oh, looks like.
I'm supposed to read them into the minutes.
I'm sorry. Would you please do that?
Town of Monrovia, $14,191.58. Aqua, Indiana, $1,502.61. American Structure Point, $38,215.72. Structure Point, $1,933.75. Structure Point, $15,549.80. Hendricks Power, $1,054.44. Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of the payments, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're killing it. Wishes to be heard.
Happy summer.
The only thing I have to add is I'm meeting with the State Board of Accounts audit people this afternoon. They got some new forms that and I think we're going through it as a county, but the sewer district doesn't fit into any boxes that they have. So these two forms are looking at what are your control mechanisms for preventing fraud? And I'm going, I can't fill any of this out because
Hey, Commissioner
it
signs
just-
the checks.
yeah, it's just me and the board, which is the commissioners. I go, so we're meeting to see how we fill that
That is
paperwork.
part of your checks and balances, though, Jay.
Yeah, but they've got 2 forms that are 10 pages apiece going through what's your procedures, you know? So yeah, I'm just trying to.
Say that and just then say ditto the rest of it.
Like, I can, will you initial that for me?
Yeah.
That's the legal word.
Yes.
Or either one of us, but I thought.
Yeah, no, I-
Okay.
Can we expect a ruling here? When was it?
His
I
ears
just-
burning?
Were my ears
No.
burning?
A couple other
Is that what you
things.
said?
No.
No, you. Last meeting,
You're
you
getting in the
mentioned
weeds already.
Sometimes
There you
a lot
go.
of first part of August.
Weights and
That was all they told me.
mid-August.
Yeah, I just followed up with.
So there's some
Mark
other
Wilson.
things in my mind.
She said, orders are generally issued each Wednesday.
You're almost talking
It's
about.
not on this week's agenda.
Yeah, after this.
No.
It's not.
I understand.
So it could happen anytime, we just.
I would tend to think you leave them in
Yeah, so
that area.
the attorney's just checking every Monday when they publish the
That way you
agenda.
don't, it's
Would
not,
be better.
yeah.
Yeah.
My gut says that.
We don't know that yet. You're way ahead of us.
I know I am. My brains.
We're part-time,
You
David.
don't even know.
And we're in a meeting
Yeah,
that's.
we're in a
been-
meeting.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
I-
please.
I would make a comment. Jim, you've notified us that you plan to retire, and we appreciate, we don't appreciate the fact you're retiring, but we applaud you for retiring and wish you the best. And we know that we're several months away from that. So we've discussed the possibility and probably moving clean water back under the guy that interrupted our meeting. And we may rethink that since he's such a
Out of control.
out of control guy. But no. But we're gonna move in that direction, but we're not doing it immediately.
Yeah.
We're
no,
we're gonna let this run its course with you and
As
so
I
on.
told-
And we haven't even begun to figure out
Logistics.
logistics and/or your replacement, any of that.
As I told you earlier.
Yeah.
And I told Dave too, if he's still back there.
He's back there.
Those 2 people are top notch. They have got it locked down. You should probably never hear any boo out of anybody. So I know that would make Dave happy, but I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, you did.
But kind of, you know, that's everybody.
We had to bribe him with candy to even consider the conversation this morning, so.
Well, I appreciate it. I know they appreciate it. I think it will be a good functional unit. I appreciate your addressing any concern. Yeah,
Fine,
so appreciate it.
yeah. But we wanted to share that with you
Yeah, thank you.
today, so that
And thank you.
plenty of time. Yeah. Very good.
Any other wishes to be heard?
No, sir.
Any other conversation? Chair to entertain a motion to,
Move we adjourn.
So, second.
all those in favor?
Aye. Very good.
That was short and sweet. Now we're actually gonna make
Thank you.
my board.
There you go.
What do we do now?
I've got a function I have to go to.
Greg and
Get to go talk to
Brad
the
have,
Metropolitan Board.
have